A massive update from the Memphis Grizzlies as the injuries just continue to hit like bowling balls left and right. Plus, one of Memphis's young pieces moving to the G League. What impact is this going to have for the Grizzlies going forward? And should we just expect this type of injuries and issues and inconsistencies moving forward? Is this just kind of a season to just be content with? Because it's been pretty tough trying to get John Morant to play consistently. Same with Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane, Scottie Pippen. Going to have to play some big minutes tonight. But we'll get into the content in just a moment. But hello, everybody. Jared Alator bringing you an episode of Grizzlies Digest for the latest news, rumors, updates, game breakdowns, so much more. If you find yourself here regularly, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an upload from us. But getting into the content right now, status report for tonight's game between the Grizzlies and Kings. Scottie Pippen Jr., like we said, will have to play some big minutes. He is questionable with wrist soreness. Santi Aldama, doubtful with a calf strain. We'll go through his stats in just a moment, but out tonight, John Morant, Yuki, and Zion have been on that out list for quite some time now. But for Aldama, he's been a really core piece to Memphis for, pretty much all season long. It kind of sucks how he hasn't been able to play consistently, just like some of these other stars that Memphis has. And for Aldama, he's been improving so much every year. And as a slasher, as a scorer, he's been amazing. He's already known to be a knockdown three-point shooter, but I think his confidence has gotten a lot better. His slashing, his cutting has gotten better. I think just his overall play has just improved. A little bit more about him. Santi Aldama, doubtful to play due to a right calf strain, continuing a trend of calf-related issues this season. 53 games played this year, averaging 12.7 points a game, along with 6.7 assists, and 2.8 assists per game. And, of course, this is going to have to mean some big minutes tonight for Bane, for Jackson Jr., but for Aldama, he's just been a continuing growth piece to this team, as well as with the rest of the young pieces. You look at Jalen Wells, Zach Edey, and they're going to grow to be really special, but just because it's their rookie year, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on them to do more than what fans would like. If you're a rookie in the NBA, you're just growing like any other young guy would. Even LeBron James, Zion, Victor Wembanyama, Luka, even they have plenty of growing moments from their rookie season. So I think Jalen Wells his ceiling is going to be incredible. Zach Edey, and for his ceiling, I think he's a very raw player, but I think his quickness could be a little bit better. There's some matchups I don't really like seeing him against, and that was really exposed in the Cleveland game, which I didn't like Memphis's chances going into the game, but Taylor Jenkins wanted to find another answer, and he actually allowed Jay Huff to play in those 80 minutes to maybe get him some fresh legs, some new legs, and for Edey was just not his matchup, just not his night. But going into Aldama and his stats for just a moment, as you see Santi going through once again his points per game, averaging nearly 13 points a game. Field goal percentage, 49%. And three-point percentage, 38%. Now, whenever you see his height right there, he has a very long name, very beautiful name, but for some reason has his full name there. His height's 7 foot. So he's a 7-foot forward / center. I'm more like him playing the power forward position. He has shot 42% on all corner threes, and nearly half of all his shots are from three-point range. So when you think about Aldama, he's a growing piece every year. You look at him from where he was his rookie season to where he is now. He's a very important player. And a lot of these young pieces are very, very important. We're going to get to Gigi Jackson, speaking of young pieces, in just a moment. But for Aldama, he's a growing young piece to this team. The Memphis Grizzlies got to find a way to get him signed and here for the future. because he's going to be very important for Memphis here to come. But going back to Gigi, the Grizzlies have signed Gigi Jackson to the Memphis Hustle. So he's off to the G League in a move that I think that Coach Jenkins is thinking about in terms of the playoffs. What are the lineups going to look like for the end of this regular season and into the playoffs? As said here in Grizzlies Sports Illustrated, after making the all-rookie second team last year, Jackson missed the start of the season, and they say that he has regressed in efficiency and other statistics. And, Gigi, he's not going to be a guy to win you a bunch of games, but he's going to be someone who's, I think, another raw individual young talent that I think can work well on a G League team. I think this is personally the right move just to get Gigi's feet more wet. And, like I said, he's not a guy that will win you a bunch of ball games, but I think Gigi has enough individual rhythm to get a little bit better, to get more consistent minutes. And I think it's also Taylor Jenkins, it's his way of saying that he doesn't really want to do these 13-man rotations come playoff time. And I'm surprised we're still seeing it right now, because usually with, pretty much every NBA team, you're not really seeing a 13-man rotation right now, especially if you're in mid-March, about to reach April and into the playoffs. And Taylor Jenkins hoping to kind of clean up some of those inconsistent lineup issues, because if you're in the playoffs, you might just see a 9-man rotation sometimes. So Taylor's kind of looking to clean up some of that depth, I think. But this is a good move nonetheless for Gigi and for the team, I think. But you're looking at the Western Conference standings right now. Memphis playing Sacramento tonight. I think Sacramento is pretty glued in on that 9th spot. For Memphis, they've been bouncing from 2 to 5. And it's just really unpredictable at this point, because not only is this a close race, but it feels like every game for Memphis, and I hate to say it right now because you still got plenty of games to go before the playoffs, but for Memphis, this is kind of an important stretch, because any game you can flip from 2 to 5. I don't think they're going to flip to 6, but you got the Warriors who are peaking at the right time. The Lakers, they don't have LeBron right now, but they still got Luka. They're peaking, and they look pretty good either way. But, for the best in the West, these games that Memphis is going to face, that Memphis is going to face, like Denver, Houston, OKC is pretty much rolling over everybody. I didn't expect them to beat OKC. I didn't expect them to beat Cleveland. But against these really elite teams in the West, Memphis has got to find a way to come out on top, because they were definitely criticized in the Knicks game, which in my opinion should have not been a close game at all. They definitely should have not lost the game, which they did, unfortunately, but the Knicks just don't really have a bench. They don't really have a reliable bench that they can go to. And you talk about Memphis, I talk about all these pieces all the time, and for all you fans watching, you've seen what all these pieces can do. Even Cam Spencer had a breakout game against Phoenix, trash-talking Kevin Durant, a first-ballot Hall of Famer. There's something in the water in Memphis that looks really kind of special right now. But it's, the inconsistent lineups and just the injuries. And I don't really think, I know a lot of people have been calling for Taylor Jenkins' head, but he's doing what he can. And it could be a lot worse. He's been doing, I think, a pretty solid job with at least handling the groceries that are being put out. He's doing a good job at handling his lineups and adjusting. Now, in terms of defense and giving up 70-plus first-half points, now that's different. I think that's a problem. That's something that needs to change going forward. But let us know in the comments down below. Of course, you can like this video, comment on this video, share this video, leave a comment down below on what you think the state of the Grizzlies team right now is. Is this just kind of a season where we're just content with all of these injuries? And is it just something to just kind of just kind of nod your head and say, okay, well, this is what we're getting and this is it. And we just need to look forward to next season. But, I mean, you look at Memphis, they could still very well be a 2 seed. I mean, this is still a very elite team, folks. So let us know in the comments what you think about that. Jared Alatorre saying, thank you so much for watching this episode of Grizzlies Digest. We'll have a lot more content coming to you very soon. Of course, stay safe and have a good one. Thank you.